Yep. I am back with another one. This time in Codewars. It is Common Substrings, and it's in Python. Maybe I said that already. I know I said it's from Codewars. Codewars, Common String. It is Common Substrings, actually, not Common Strings. So, Common Substrings in Python from Codewars. Take 3 is the good one. All right, very good. And so let's get up in here and look at the instructions here. Given 2 strings, your job is to find out if there is a substring that appears in both strings. You're going to return true if you find a substring that appears in both strings, or false if you do not. We only care about substrings that are longer than 1 letter long. So you're given 2 strings, and really you have to find a common substring between the two. If there's no common substring, you return false. So this function is going to return Boolean value, true or false. So look at example number 1, something and fun, and you can eyeball it and see that it returns false because there's no common substring. Probably easier to look for the word or for the substring for a substring from fun in something because fun is shorter. Moving on to example 2, we have something and home. This does return true because there's an ME in both of them. There's a matching substring. So this one does return true. And I'll check out the write-up a little bit here, see if it's got any other cool little tidbits. Yeah, in the above example, example 2 is true because both of the inputs contain ME, something and home. And we know why example 1 returns false. There's no commonality. What we also see here is that lowercase and uppercase letters are the same, so this will be a case insensitive match, as they say. Uppercase A equals lowercase a. And we are only counting substrings that are greater than 1 in length. So a simple character match is not good enough. If they both have A's, that's not good enough. You have to match greater than 1. So at least 2 characters in the substring. Important stuff. And that's kind of it. Match and see what you whatever the hell that means. But yeah, you're going to be given 2 strings. Find common between both. Common substring. So let's expand out here and do the code. I'm also going to, I think, increase the size here. We'll mess that up. Make it huge. It ain't that big. I'll write out the instructions, a little snippet of the instructions here, so we know what we're doing. Yep, that's a good synopsis. Find a common substring between S1 and S2 and false if there is not. So, how would you do this? How am I going to do it? What I'm going to do is take one of these strings and find all of the possible substrings of it, and then for each substring I find, I'm going to see if the other string contains them. So I'll write that out in a comment. there's a little write-up of my kind of general algorithm that I'm going to use. Find all the substrings of one, and for each substring that I generate, I'm going to see if it's in the other string, and if it is, it's a true. If I get through all the substrings and there's no matching with the other string, we're going to return false. So here's how I'm going to generate all the substrings. I'm going to, you can just pick either string, S1 or S2, find all the substrings of it, look for it in the other string, and that's it. It doesn't matter whether you choose S1 or S2 to get all of the substrings of, because it's just a really, I guess you could say, a one-way comparison. I'm not sure if that's the right way to say it, but you only need to pick one of them, and it doesn't matter which one. Anyway, enough rambling there. I'll choose S1, and I'm actually going to loop until right before the end. So I'm going to stop at the length minus 2, because the substrings have to be at least 2 characters long, and I'm going to do a substring from I to J and create a range from there. So J is going to go to the end, and I is going to go at most one before the end. J goes all the way to the end, and J is going to start at I plus 1. And so I can draw this up a little bit. Say we got an array or a list here, and say I starts here. Getting all the possible substrings, J is going to start here. Let's say this is element 0 and element 1. J is going to start here and go all the way to the end, while I stays right here. So my my substring, really, it's going to be, looking at it in slice form, it'll be I and then J plus 1. And as J hops to each subsequent element, it's going to expand. It's going to go from I to all the possible lengths. So like if I is at 0 and J starts at 1, you know, J will end up being 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever down the line. And for each slice, I'm going to see if that slice of the string is inside of S2. So that's a little snippet of how it's going to work. I know I didn't explain everything, but I try to make these a little brief. So hopefully you picked up a little bit there. Maybe you will in the code. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to compare a slice, which will be a substring, to see if it's inside of S2. Like, is this substring inside of S2? I'm getting a slice of S1, and like I did in the drawing, it'll be from I to J plus 1. And I'm going to see if that snippet, or if that substring, is in S2. If it is, I'm simply returning true, because I'm good, because that's what we have to do. See if the other string contains it. That's it. So that's that. And I'm doing J plus 1 here because I want to capture J as well. You know that the upper limit is not inclusive for slicing and for the range. So I want to really capture from I to J. So I'm doing J plus 1 so that it includes the J element. in my slice. So yeah, I return true if there is a match here, and otherwise I'll return false, but not really otherwise here, because I'm not going to do an else in the loop. I'm going to do an else after everything is done, because that's how you know if there are no substrings of S1 that are in S2. You got to go through them all, and you go through them all by doing the looping completely. So there we go. Once you're done with all the looping, if you have not returned true, return false. So there's your general algorithm, and I realize I am missing one thing. Now remember that this needs to be a case-insensitive comparison. So for each substring that I create, I'm going to make it lowercase and S2 lowercase, so that we have a case-insensitive match or comparison. It's only a match if they're true, or if they're the same. All right. I think it's good. Gonna minimize this and then do the running. See what we get. Looks like something's missing up here. Where'd all the stuff go? Anyway, I'll just do the testing. Screw it. Missing the colon. My colon is swollen. Alright, that passes. That passes. So this code is good. As I thought it would be. So I'll put the code back up bigger. So yeah, this is going to find, it's going to loop through S1 and get substrings of S1. See if those substrings are in S2. If any of them are, return true. Otherwise, return false if you've gone through all the substrings of S1 and have not found them in S2. And to create the substrings, I use looping and slicing, where I do a nested looping situation where I is going to be the beginning of the substring and J will be the end of the substring. And I use slicing to create the substring. You see, from I to J plus 1, I to J. Lowercase it, compared to lowercase other string. If they're the same, return true. There is your synopsis, and we got a passing grade on this one, so I am out. See ya.